All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller and a stay-at-home dad for my 6 children. And we have spent a lot of time focusing on getting the death pile cleaned up. And if I showed you the progress, you wouldn't recognize it, but we did a lot of work. And we're a long way towards getting this stuff under control, which feels really good. 9 sales in the last couple of days. First one, and the only one that has to go out today, being this shirt. And it's a funny shirt. It says, like, my rod and reel protect me, something like it. It's based on a Bible verse, but it's about fishing, and so it's kind of a parody thing. It's funny. The shirt's not in great shape. I paid $1 for it. It was single stitch, and it took probably a year to sell, and sold reasonably cheap. We got a handful of other sales. Let's look at those. So we're going backwards. So this thing, like, literally just sold in the last couple minutes. This is a body blade, and you like do this, and it's supposed to be a workout. I feel like a dragonfly. Anyway, I paid nothing for it a long time ago, and then decided that it wasn't worth trying to ship. And then I found, and so it was like in the death pile after having been listed and unlisted. And then I was like, well, maybe with Ground Advantage it would be worth shipping. And it sold in a day for $47 free shipping. But like, I paid $5 for it 5 years ago. There's no point in counting the cost against it. You know, it'll probably cost me $15 or $20 to ship, but better than sitting in the death pile not making money. And this box right here is full of random Nintendo stuff that isn't kind of worth listing on its own. So I put it all in a box, and I marked it cheap because I don't want to look at it anymore. It's been sitting in a box on my desk for the last 6 months, and I'm like, I didn't know what to do with it because it's not worth listing on its own. And I tried to run it on Whatnot, and I couldn't get single dollar bids on the stuff. So I just put it in a lot and put $30 on it, and it sold in a day. Also, these were part of that same box. The power cords, they sell for 20 bucks. One of them I sent a best offer, so it ended up at 17, but they sold right away. I have one more. I had 3 of them in that box, and they all sold. The 2 have sold real quick. This is a plastic cup from Epcot Center, the Rose and Crown, one of the restaurants at the Epcot, or at the British Pavilion at World Showcase in Epcot. I paid nothing for it, and it sold for not very much, $7 plus shipping. I knew it wouldn't be worth a fortune, but I thought it's fun, and as a Disney head, I like picking up Disney things. These shoes came from I bought somebody else's store out. All of the shoes that they had left were like really small sizes, so these were some of the biggest. They're like a women's 9, and so I have $1 into them. I priced them for $18.50 free shipping. They ain't gonna cost much to ship, but I'm not gonna have much left once they're shipped, and I count cost of goods and fees and shipping. Okay, next we have a box of bones, 30 skeleton bones, and this is complete. What's really fun about this is it belonged to a medical student who used it to study. So it has all these markings on it that are not part of the original piece, but like, it certainly doesn't detract from it in my opinion. I think it makes it a little creepier even, maybe, but these are just blow molded Halloween skeletons, and reasonably to scale. Somebody like was hounding me about whether or not it was scale and how tall it would be if you put it together. Well, it's only 30 bones. It's not enough to put together, but I figured out it would have been like a 5'3" woman, based on what you can tell from the skeleton. Cool piece. I paid $2 for it, and then it sold. It went through 2 Halloweens and then sold in the middle of the summer. So it's been around a while, almost 2 years now. This summer slowdown is real. Holy cow. Before we left on vacation, I was selling $200 and $300 a day, and I would have days that would be like 125, but that was the slow days. And I had 3 days in a row that I didn't break 50 bucks. 2 days were $16 and change. And so I got to get it straightened around. I'm still working hard at it. This old jerseys tag is not, generally speaking, a double stitch. I didn't pay much for this, but it's a decent print on a cool shirt. Sold for $17.99, free shipping. Bought a box full of Bratz branded stuff a couple weeks ago, right before we went on vacation. Paid $15 for it and been well in the profit for a while after the first item sold. And this is like shoes and a leg warmer, pants, a scarf, earmuffs, and a sled, all for the same doll. This accessories sold for $15, free shipping, but we've been into this is all profit, and that is it. So that's everything that's sold that I've got to ship this morning. There's only one thing that has to go today, so I'm going to print a label for that, and then I've got so many donations, we'll probably do some thrifting here in just a couple minutes. All right, guys, Tom back with another What Sold. I think this is probably going to be part 2. Today is Tuesday, and you didn't miss anything on Monday. I actually didn't do much at all shipping on Monday because everything that's sold over the weekend. I have 2-day handling time, and yesterday was Evelyn's birthday, so I didn't ship anything at all. So today we have 17 orders for $690. I've been putting in the work on the death pile, getting rid of old stuff, been pulling things out that have been listed for a long time, I'm lowering the price and changing the SKU location. And so what I'll do I'll go grab a box of stuff that I'm like, that I haven't pulled anything from VS1 in forever. Let me pull this out. Oh, all of this stuff has been sitting forever. And I'll just take everything in that box and I'll go find it in the inventory system, and I put the chain, even if I leave it in VS1, I'll put V space S space 1 instead, just so that that line changes. I'll lower the price, and then I will end that listing. And then when it comes to, then I can go into my ended and highlight all the ones that I just ended, and I'm doing 12, 14 at a time, and just clicking sell similar, and then it brings up the bulk editor thing, and you just you end and sell similar, all of that stuff all at once. I've been doing quite a bit of that, and going through the death pile. Donated literally, there was hardly any place for the kids to sit in the van the other day when we were going to my dad's house, because I had so many donations in our 15-passenger van that our 8 people in our family didn't fit super well. So we ran and donated that stuff, and then there was plenty of room, but it was half a van load worth, a truck, what would have been the bed of a truck worth of stuff, just trying to purge stuff that isn't worth listing so that it's not as big of a, it's a looming burden of pile right now, or was. It's much better here. This is much better now. This is like the stuff that used to be somebody else's store that I bought all the items for $1 a piece. Anyway, so with those two things as my strategy, getting through the death pile, finding good stuff. A lot of this stuff that's sold today is stuff that was in the death pile and should have been listed but wasn't, and things that got sold or ended and sold similar. This is one such thing that was in the death pile. It's dirty. It does not have a power cord, but it does work with the batteries and has the battery cover. So this Yamaha Portasound PSS 460 sold for $82 free shipping. It's not going to cost a fortune to ship. It's not going to be hard to ship, but it's not a t-shirt, but it sold for $80, and I don't even know where it came from. So I'm probably going to net $50 on it. It might be one that I paid $20 for. So then maybe I'll net $30, depending on what my cost of goods was, but I don't remember offhand. These two things, this is Atari Games Journey, like the band Journey had an Atari game. And then like just a bunch of joysticks and stuff that I don't even own a 2600 anymore. that I know for sure works. So all of that stuff was untested. And then this lot of games that's like NBA 2K13 for PS3, World Baseball 2K1 for the Dreamcast, which is a little more interesting. Some Xbox 360 games, but nothing good. There's one of them is GTA 4, but it's only the install disc. So a big pile of junk games. Same buyer bought both of those. $20 free shipping and $21 free shipping for that. This was a Hoarder House thing. I don't see a date on it. November issue of Hee Haw magazine, 1971. Hee Haw magazine. Sold for like $9 plus shipping. Yep, $9 plus shipping. So that one's interesting. Paid $2 for this blow mold, cauldron blow mold, and it's got some stuff in it that I just pulled everything and put it in here to take up less space. This one is Union Products, made in the USA. Sold for, I paid $2 for it at a yard sale. Sold for $50, free shipping. Same yard sale, different buyer. These are die cuts, and they have some value, especially if you can find really good ones with like skeletons or witches and with articulated arms and legs. This is the scarecrow. This cat has articulated body parts. This scarecrow has like the honeycomb thing beside of him as a stalk. And so these die cuts do pretty well. This set is, this is like the cover piece. And if you had this skeleton with the articulated arms and legs, it would be worth a lot more. This cover itself is actually a Happy Halloween sign. And then you got the really cool flamey skull. And this is not part of that set. Neither is this. And that's everything. So, but these die cut, like classroom decorations from the 80s, early 90s. I mean, we saw them in the 90s, but this one's literally dated 1979. But I know teachers who still had them up in the 90s. And so, anyway, if you find those, because often either you'll find them for $5 a piece, $10 a piece because people know what they have, or you'll find a pile of them for $1 because people either don't know or don't care. And those sold for $22.74 free shipping. That'll be super easy to deal with. This shirt I was excited to find because it just looks like a banger. Sylvester, Six Flags Great America, single dingle, and it is a medium, which isn't a great size, but that's a great shirt. And I paid 50 cents for it, and I thought sure that it would go. 1991. And I've had it for 2 years probably, and it eventually sold for $11.69 plus shipping. Paperweight. I paid $5 to $7.50 a piece for a bunch of paperweights on high bid auction. And I did pretty well with a handful of them, and terrible. Like this is, I've probably had for almost a year, and I did terrible on some of them. This one sold for $18 free shipping. So if I'm in it for $7.50, I'm basically breaking even, and held it for a year to do that. Paperweights, I have since learned, need to have some kind of markings on the bottom. And sometimes the real fancy ones can have markings like up in here somewhere, like on the bottom of a flower if they're really getting crazy. But it has to be signed, or it's like $20, $25. But I had found a couple of paperweights that were really good. And so when they came up at that auction, I was like, oh, I'll hit some good ones. And I didn't do terrible when you take that buy as a whole, but there were several that I bought, like that one that just took forever to move and I broke even on. This, if you guys aren't familiar with Salad Master, anytime I find Salad Master, I get real excited. I paid $5 a piece for about 5 pieces, and all of them sold to one guy except this piece. And for some reason, this one took forever to sell. Sold for $30 free shipping, but I'm way in the profit on the $30, $35 because it was 7 pieces. $35 that wasn't 7 pieces Salad Master. It was $30 on Salad Master, and there was a Toastmaster or something else. Anyway, Salad Master. It's made of like surgical grade stainless steel. Like, it's crazy. It costs so much money to buy new. And they do like Tupperware parties, but they're Salad Master parties. And they have the like vented lids. And so these do really, really well. This one being small and all by itself took a little bit longer than I'm used to for them to sell. But it did sell for $30 free shipping. I don't know where this fishing stuff came from. This was in a, maybe it was a Whatnot buy for $1. Sold for $8 plus shipping. It's just a bunch of random fishing stuff. I don't fish. I don't know anything about it. But somehow I ended up with a small pile of fishing things in the death pile. And so I listed them for cheap because I'm in the business of selling things, and I could have donated those or I could have sold them for not very much, and I sold them for not very much. This was in the somebody else's store, bought everything for $1, so I'm $1 into this bag of like military pins and buttons and ropes, and I probably could have individually pieced these out and made some money on them, but they would have taken, they take forever to sell that way. And I'm not trying to become an expert on military buttons. I'm trying to find stuff cheap and sell it quick. I had this listed for $11.50. Somebody offered me $5. I had decided that morning that I woke up, if I got stupid offers, I was going to counter everything because I was real tired of selling almost nothing. So I countered at like 10 and he came back at 7. And I'm like, you know what? I'm $1 into this thing and I haven't sold anything today. And this will, if he pays $7 for this, it'll keep me from getting a goose egg for the day. And I ended the day in a lot better shape. And maybe it was because I took an offer on something. Who knows? But I did take a really low offer. But, I mean, I'm going to put that sandwich bag in a poly mailer, and it's going to be super crazy easy. Banana Republic. This is a 5-panel hat. Now, if you look at a standard baseball hat, it has 5 panels, but it's called a baseball hat, not a 5-panel. This has the front panel and then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is called a 5-panel hat. And this one is elastic on the back. I believe it's made in the US. Yeah, made in the USA. So this is a vintage 5-panel block letter Banana Republic hat. Banana Republic doesn't have the following in its vintage stuff quite as much as like LL Bean, or like LL Bean isn't a contemporary thing that would be worth picking up, but it is, but the made in the USA stuff, J. Crew, those things can be really good. This I paid $1 for, and I knew it would sell eventually, but it's not hugely sought after. Anyhow, sold for $30 plus shipping, paid $1, probably had it for 6 months or so. Big old Bratz lot. I paid $15. We made money. The first item that sold, I've sold a handful of other things. This bed, and then this is supposed to be like a bedside table with a lamp, and the lips match, but it doesn't have the lamp part, and then the blanket, and that sold for $22 free shipping. Won't make a ton of money after I pay for shipping, but it's all profit because it's because I made the money a long time ago, and it's one bed, and it's a broken, or it's missing pieces, so not worth a ton. Paid $1 a piece for these. They sold for $15 free shipping. Sprite and Tab. Maybe I wouldn't do these again. They're going to be a little, like, they're precarious. They're thin glass cups, and so they're going to take a little bit extra efforts to ship. I'm in them for $2. The buyer's all in for 16, so I might make $2 after you count my cost of goods. So probably not worth doing again. But I just saw them and I didn't even comp them. I'm just like, those are neat, they're cheap, and I picked them up. Not necessarily a good decision. This is one not 12AX7 related vacuum tube item. I found a projector, like a movie projector for 8mm film, and it had sound, and that makes all the difference. If you're looking at film projectors from the 50s, are not worth much, but if they have sound, like, I threw the whole rest of the thing away. But if you have one that has Filmo sound, so this is Bell and Howell. Yeah, Bell and Howell with Filmo sound. And it has tube amps. This, I plugged a bass guitar into this. It sounds fantastic. So you plug the bass guitar in here, and this is the speaker output, and this worked, and it sounds amazing. And somebody who's a tube amp aficionado is going to clean this thing up and probably put a metal cage over it, and it's going to be a fantastic little amp for somebody to do something with. And it's all original, and I sold it as essentially untested, or I sold it as parts not working, and then described, I tested it, this is what it did. I sell electronics, like, especially like this, something where the person who's gonna buy it is going to have to go through it and make sure that it doesn't catch on fire. If you have much experience at all with those, like, you can plug those in and they just immediately catch fire. And this plug, this is what the plug for it looks like. So I'm including the plug, but said in the listing, it will power it on. It is not safe to use. You need to source another plug, but I'm including this plug as the original so that you know what to look for. Anyhow, that sold in a week, or maybe even just a couple of days, for $191. Buyers all in at $230. If I had went and spent $50 and had a tube amp guy go all through it and make it beautiful, I might have gotten $350 for it. But selling it as a semi-working project for somebody who does that kind of stuff, I'm much more comfortable with. It's a very low investment. I paid $5 for the film projector at a yard sale a year and a half ago. Paid $1 at the Everything's a Dollar yard sale for this vintage Lego. It's empty, but it's a vintage Halloween specific Lego bucket. It had a date on it. At some point I knew when it was from. 1998. Vintage Lego bucket. The first one sold for like $35, and this one hung out forever, and it sold for $17 plus shipping. I think the other one sold for like $38 free shipping, but it took it a year. I know I bought that in September. We're coming up on, we're middle of July, so not quite a year, but that sold for $17 free shipping plus shipping. And then this hat was one that I bought with a bunch of hats for $1 a piece. Kerr McGee is not a label that you see much. This bill is soft. It's not cracked, but it's not good. That Kerr McGee, and then the off-color stitching, and then I think this is on a K Brands. So this is a really good hat. If the bill was nice, it would have brought more money and it would have sold faster. But it sold for $19.99 plus shipping. Pretty cool for something I picked up for $1. But those kind of hats aren't gonna move fast. And that is everything that sold. And I just got a notification that I got something delivered that I ordered, which means that I missed the mail. So I got to get all this stuff shipped, and then I got to take it to the post office. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thanks for following and clicking the bells. Check out my links. You'll see my eBay, Mercari, my other vlog channel that I haven't done anything with in a while, and I haven't done anything with this channel very much in a while. I'm just trying to get my bearings about getting everything else that needs done. So thanks for interacting with the videos in whatever ways that you do, because it really helps the channel out. We'll see you on the next one, guys.